Now, good day, Aussie bonsai bloke. Go! Good day, guys. Well, today we're going to work on this tree, but first, this is a new recruit to our family. Yes, another black and tan kelpie, so that makes 3. And his name's Kevin. So we got Kevin, Leo, and Roy. And he's getting along pretty well. He just wants to go down and play with the other dogs, but he's been adopted pretty well by the other dogs. And he's a pretty cruisy, chubby fella. That's your butt, hey? I know, you want to get down, I'll give you a kiss. And then you hop down, yeah? Good boy, good boy, good boy. Okay, we'll put him down. There you go, bud. So yeah, here's our new recruit to the family. He's not actually he's our dog, but he's actually my daughter's dog. She didn't have a dog sleeping in bed with her at night, so we ended up getting her own dog so she could have a dog in bed with her. She was missing out. So, what else is there? Oh, one more thing, I'll just go and get it. Good day. Okay guys, so here's what we got also. Hello Leo, you can come up for this one because this is for you. Here you go, mate. This is a first aid kit from John from the Adelaide Bonsai Club. One for the dogs because between snake bites for Roy, stitches for Leo, and Kevin who knows what next, and me cutting my hand, well, he thought we need our own first aid kit, so there you go. Cheers, John. Thanks for the first aid, mate. I don't know whether that's an inside or what, but there you go. Thanks, mate. Now, after all that, I'm trying out the Rode mic so that I can just talk normal wherever I walk and go. And if I would turn my back, it's still the same volume, turn around. I've tried it in the past, but I've had trouble with it distorting when I talk too loud, and then I also have trouble about 4 videos ago I tried it again for the first time in a long time, and what happened was it was too quiet. So I'm wondering whether I can record it quiet and then muck around a bit more in the editing to try and bring the volume up. Could be the answer. Anyway, trial and error, see what happens. Anyway, we're going to be working on this little, I'm just looking for my turntable. Always losing stuff, Sammy. Where's your turntable gone, you crazy man? Oh, this one will do. It's not my stainless steel one that I got from Adrian Eggleton, but it'll do. So today we're going to be working on this olive. We'll bring you guys up a bit closer. I've had this olive for a long time now. Close to 13 years. Very close. I'll try not to. I'm putting it right near his paw. Sorry, Leo. I hope I didn't offend you, buddy. You're very cute. And he's looking at his paw like, how dare you put that near my paw. Alright, so we'll go about there. That'll give you a good view. So what we're going to be doing today is just giving it a trim. Deciduous trees for me are done. I don't trim them again until spring now, because I find if you do any hard cutbacks once they go dormant, they can die back I like to do hard cutbacks, and even trimming for that matter when it's actually actively growing. The only time I do trimming on deciduous during winter really is if I want to do a winter silhouette show. So there you go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come in here and trim everything back to only a short node. This tree's been in training for a long time, like I say, so it's sort of got pretty easy to keep under control. You just go in there and you cut everything back to a short shoot. The really close internodes you might keep two or three, possibly four on an olive if they're really close. Anywhere where there is three shoots coming out of one spot, we'll cut it back to two. And also if there's some really long internodes where it's growing super strong, and cutting it back to two would be too long a straight section, I guess you could say, I'll probably end up cutting that back to only one node. But in general, olives have pretty small nodes, so two is fine, especially on these wild olives. So for these wild olives, I find 2 to 3 nodes is fine. Cut back to, so it doesn't actually take long. You just come in here and cut it back. I was trying to think of the last time that I've repotted this poor little sucker, and I can't really remember. It was a long time ago, like could be 7 years, could be longer, could be 8. I'm not 100% certain. I could be wrong, but I don't remember repotting it recently. The base on this one here, if I clean all the moss off, actually comes out to the rim of the pot all the way around, and that's how it was when I planted it in this pot. And I'm assuming it's still like that, and possibly even more constricted. So if I repot this one in the near future, it'll probably have to go up to a bigger pot, I would say. It's probably outgrown this pot. But having said that, don't just repot a tree because it's been a long time since you repotted. This tree, although it's been a long time, you can see still put on a lot of growth this last summer. Maybe not as much growth as if you repotted it, but still showing good strong signs of growth. So because of that, I'm at least going to wait another year before I repot because it's still growing strong. Probably the time I'll repot it is when it starts to show signs of weak growth, where not much happens. Until then, there's no point. If it's growing strong and it's healthy, what's the point of repotting it? It's got all these nice long shoots from last year. I did not trim it during summer at all. Didn't even get one trim in. I fertilised it pretty regularly there for a while, but then if you'd watched my last video planting all these trees, I've been a bit slack on the fertiliser lately, and I know that's a bad thing because autumn is one of the most important times of year to be fertilising. And I have to say, here's a fat one here. See this fat one coming outside here? It's got a super long straight section, really strong. Actually, it comes from way down here. That's going to be just cut off. You can see the strong growth. So it's still liking its pot. So yeah, I haven't done autumn fertilisers like I'd want to, but after this video today I'm going to dose all my bonsai with another dose of fertiliser. Probably a nice heavy one to try and bring it back up to par. And then after that I'll just do some regular fertilising. And often, you're better off doing a weaker solution more often than you are a stronger solution every now and then, especially if you've got a chemical fertiliser. For me, I'm just running with a chemical fertilizer, because if I put organic, well, the dogs will probably get in here and eat it all up. As cute as they are, they still cause a bit of mischief, these blokes. What else do I have to say about the olive? Well, this one here is not the European olive. This one is, I think they call it the African olive. It's a wild olive. Whether or not it's a completely different type of olive, or whether the European olive, when grown from seed, produces these olives, I'm not sure, because some in the same area that you collect them produce olives and they look like a normal olive tree, and others, well, they produce a smaller leafed tree that doesn't seem to get olives. So who knows? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We're not trying to get olives off of our olive bonsai. We're just trying to get a nice shaped little tree. So as you can see, we're getting through it pretty well. We've got 3 from this one spot. I'm going to cut one off. I did clean up the structure of this pretty well. If you go back to this old video on this one, when was it? I reckon it was when I was high pressure cleaning them all, because they all had bad scale. I had a bad scale infestation, and I high pressure cleaned all of them. And when I did that, I pretty much defoliated this whole tree and just blew it off with a high pressure cleaner. And while everything was off of it, I went through and methodically cleaned up all the twigs and, you know, just created nice branching on the tree. So it's quite easy to trim now. There's not a lot of stuff I have to really cut hard on. This tree has been developed pretty well right from the start with its foliage pads. Well, not pads, not pads, but branch structure. It's been styled pretty good right from the start with its branch structure. So because of that, and because it's all been mainly clip and grow, apart from the very early days, I wired the main branches. Because of that, it's created a really interesting branch structure over the whole tree, clip and grow. If I had have let it grow really fast to this size that it is now, right from the start, it would look similar until you put your head underneath and realise that it's all straight branches that get to the outside of the tree, and then you get your ramification or your branch divisions on the outside, which creates a faster tree in the short term but poor structured tree. So you're better off taking the long run, like this one here, 13 years to get to this stage, where you can just keep pruning everything back to 1 or 2 nodes. And apart from setting the first original branch structure, pretty much all I've ever done on this tree is cut it back to the first 1 or 2. There's a big one that I forgot. All I've pretty much done is cut it back to 1 or 2 nodes once the initial branch structure was wired out. And I just want this one to be a little round ball, so it'll just look like a, I guess like a broadleaf evergreen, almost maybe an oak type style. Quite upright branches around the whole thing. Just a nice, neat, clean little tree. It's good to have a few, you know, finished trees like this in your collection, so that you can see with your other trees where you're headed and what those techniques will, you know, accomplish in the long run. I.e. this tree here, if I go and pretty much copy this wiring out the initial branches and spreading out branches randomly. I'll probably get something similar to this in another 10 years if I do it on a new young one. Also, there's others that I've kept big negative spaces in, and it's interesting to see how they turn out too. I believe, you know, variety is the spice of life, and we should just, you know, try a bit of this and a bit of that. Okay, we're getting around this tree pretty well. Nearly done. I'm pretty happy with that. You can see this moss growing at the back of the tree. We can pull that out. Okay, just clean it up a bit. Get rid of some of that moss growing on it. You can use vinegar. Okay, so I know there'll be someone comment and say you can use vinegar to get rid of it. Well, I already know that. I'm just, you know, using my fingers right now. So yeah, future of this tree, well, for now I'll just keep growing it like I am. Clean off some of this moss every now and then. You can see that there is the edge of the actual tree base out here. And it's really turned into a beautiful little tree. Without much effort. It's actually been a very, very easy tree. Very little effort has gone into it. I didn't actually collect this one. I bought this one from the Adelaide bonsai show many moons ago, and I've just been randomly trimming it and wiring it, and I carved out the trunk, and I've just been looking after it ever since. We got rid of the bad scale infestation. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say is the shelter that we had for it. We had a shade shelter because the heat out here was extreme, just to help protect a lot of the other trees. But what that did do is cause a scale infestation on all of my olives. Got bad scale. So what I did this year for the summer is I got rid of all of the shade structure and just tried to put the more sensitive trees in areas that didn't quite get as much sun, and it's really, really helped. I high pressure cleaned all the branches to get rid of the scale, and the scale hasn't come back at all. So it's really good to see that just in the direct sun has now stopped all the problems that I was having with the scale. You can get under here and chop some of the low hanging ones down, make them sort of all go up, just to clean up the structure a little bit, but not too much, you know. You want a little bit of randomness, you don't want it all dead perfect and even. No tree in the wild has a dead clean line underneath. They all have a random little branch that sticks out somewhere, so feel free to leave a little random sticky outy branch. Okay, I reckon that's pretty good. We've got it looking okay. You know, you could say this tree's still got a ways to go, but not really, you know, like it's just in time, all it's going to do is start to look older and older. But the structure itself is probably not going to change a lot from now. It will probably just stay like this, but progressively get more and more old craggy bark. You can see the bark forming on here. When I got this, it was very smooth, and now it's getting really nice old bark. So it's just going to look older, slowly get older, get more and more little twigginess about it, and just become a really nice old tree in the collection. So really happy to see this one progressing along so easily, and glad to say that we got rid of our scale infestation. You can use chemicals, but I don't know, the direct sunlight seems to do the trick. Beautiful. There you go. So this one started from just a bulb with a straight trunk, and I just chopped it on a big diagonal, which is what you can see this chop here. And then I grew out some big branches to help fatten it all up, and that's what we've ended up with. So yeah, looking pretty good. No worries guys, cheers for watching. I hope you like our new addition to the family, or Taya's little puppy dog Kevin. We've had him for quite a few weeks now. I just haven't done a video to show you guys, so cute little dog. Alright, cheers guys, thanks for watching. I'll see what I can do for the sound. Hopefully it's alright. I'm sure if it's not, plenty of people will let me know. So have a good one and keep having fun with your bonsai. Cheers, and thanks for watching.